Okay, earlier I showed you how to replace the headlights in the Ram pickup. You can see on the passenger side, they're still out, but on the driver's side, we still have power. I'm gonna show you another reason why. If after you change the actual headlamp, it's still not powering on, I'll show you a quick fix on how to start diagnosing what it is. Come up in the pickup here. So again, passenger side, this is the one we worked on. Come up in the engine this time. There's only a few things you need to take apart. Instead of taking the headlamp out itself, you can actually just, this little fast gripper right here, when it's closed, you just pull on it like that. So you do this with one hand. So it opens up and releases this here. So then on this plastic piece, first you want to take the air box off. All you need to do is disconnect the tube here for your air inlet. You can leave this on, you can twist it up just so it has just rubber mounts that it's stuck into. So just pull that up, flip it over, hang it out of the way. Then you're gonna take this one out here. If you have a trim removing tool, one of these, they're about a few dollars. I'll throw links in the description, everything below, which will also help the channel. So you take this one out here, you're gonna take one out here, and then you down here in the bottom, see if we can see this. So right down there, you have one here and one right down there. Okay, so you have 4 of those total. Then you can mess with this a little bit, this trim, pull it back, work it around this wiring harness right here, you'll have access. So what I want to show you though, once you're looking down here, you see that connector there. That's the one that's coming out of the wiring harness out of the fuse box that's connecting to the actual headlamp. That's most likely where your problem is. That red part right there, you're gonna pull that back to unlock it, and then right behind the red part, there's a little tab. You can push that down, separate these two. Either way, to diagnose this, you want to pull that red part back, and what I've done is just actually squeeze these two connectors together. Usually it's a loose connection. Now you can either bridge these together, you can solder them together, you can cut the wires and make them a constant, or see if you can clean up or reconnect these two connectors to get a better fitment. And I'll show you how to check this really fast, see if that's what your problem is. So right now I have the headlights on. All right, now I've got a hold of those two connectors where the black and the green one was. When I squeeze them together, you can see it's turning on. It's working. If I put that on low beam, high beam, they're both turning on. As soon as I let go of that connection, it's no longer giving me any power. Now, by the time you get in here, if you're not seeing any of this, make sure that your headlights haven't turned off on their own, because they have an automatic turn off, just so you don't burn the battery out. Okay, as you can see, I have both the connectors apart now. I want to go through a couple 1 to 3 ways to actually fix this. One of them is going to be a patch. This is not the optimal way, but you may be traveling and need to get this fixed right then. What you can do is grab some super glue after you separate them, put some super glue right there along this rail, along that rail, and on the bottom as well. Then hold these two connectors together tight to keep that connection until it dries. If you can, get a wide angle pair of pliers or vice grips in order to hold it until it dries, and that at least get you down the road. Like for myself, this went out when I was going down to Canyon late at night, and doing this patch helped me through. The other portion is when you're putting on the super glue, make sure you have it apart like this, but don't put it down the connections. You don't need it down here in the wire connections, just along the rail to hold the two housings together. Now obviously once you have time, you're going to cut all 3 wires here and all 3 wires here, match them all up, and you're going to solder those together and wrap them up so that way they're weatherproofed, or else you're gonna have to buy these actual wiring harnesses and replace everything. But it'd be just as easy to solder or butt these together. Now a butt connector isn't as good, it's not as weatherproof, so make sure if you're gonna do that, make sure you wrap them up really good, so that way over time they're not grabbing any moisture and water picked up off the road, and they're gonna fail later again on you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add some super glue to these 2 rails. Like I said, this is just enough to hold it. Now I'm gonna hold it for about 2 minutes. Once I'm done, I'll add a bead of super glue around the very edge where the black meets the green harness. And again, this harness is gonna be replaced, or we're gonna direct wire and bypass that harness no matter what. So it doesn't matter that we're gluing it up right now. All right, it's been about 2 minutes. We have a good hold on it. Now let's look and see at our headlight. And as you can see, both low beam and high beam are on. So we've fixed it. We'll run that extra bead, and that's going to hold us through until we get this all soldered up and fixed. All right, as you can see, we fixed both lights now. They're both running. The super glue is all dried. Again, this video intention was to get you through as a quick fix diagnosis, so you know what actually needs to be done. either change that wiring harness or solder in and bypass it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Really helps the channel. Look at the affiliate links below if you need any of these tools or parts.